The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 until 9 a.m. in North Alabama on WVNN. And then from 10 until 11, you can hear me on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, on News Radio 1440 in Montgomery, and then once again at 3 on 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, The Ump in North Alabama. I'm pretty much everywhere. With me, as always, Mecca Music, as she is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, and we hope to bring you a smart show today. Mecca, how's everything going?
It's going fantastic. I'm excited to hear about your turkey of the year this year.
Yeah, we're going to do turkeys of the year because this is a Thanksgiving-ish type of show, but I've got a Christmas party shot for you because we're going to get ready for the season. We also have Yaffe with us. He is a radio talk show host in North Alabama as well. We'll talk with him a little bit later in the program. But for right now, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. All right, it looks like we are just going to be in this transition period for quite some time here, Mecca, where basically every move Donald Trump makes, we are going to get a ton of news about that. You know, like the last, 10 years of our lives is basically exactly the same. This week, tariffs is the big thing. He has made a very explicit threat of tariffs. He is directing those towards Canada, Mexico, China. He is throwing out those threats and saying, look, either come to our way of thinking or we're going to put a tariff on you. And a lot of them have responded, except for Canada, and said, we're going to put some tariffs on you if you do this. And I just got to believe that this is a lot of tough talk from almost everyone involved. I don't think Donald Trump wants tariffs, but I think he's willing to use them as a weapon. He talked about them during the campaign, and to hear the media talking right now, they're like, I just don't understand this. This is so confusing. I'm like, were you not paying attention? What don't you understand about this? Is this huge news or no news?
Okay, so it is huge news if, like you said, it goes through, if he follows through with this. And I've heard two different camps of thinking about this. One is this is part of the art of the deal. This is part of the negotiations. This is how Trump gets what he wants. This is how he gets what he wants, right? And then the other side are these people who are like, no, everything he has said he's going to do, he has been emboldened by the election. And if he says he's going to do it, he is absolutely going to do it.
Well, I think I think these are not different things.
Right.
I think he is going to do it. And if Canada and Mexico and China decide that's how Trump says it.
You don't have to, though. You don't have to.
He won, so we have to. It's part of the rules here. So you have this happening, and I think what he wants to do is make them move. And if they don't move, then the tariffs go into place. This is just like NATO in this first term. He would come out and say, I'll leave NATO if you guys don't put more money in. And they're like, you're not leaving NATO. And he's like, no, I'll leave NATO. And then all of a sudden they just start spending more money. Even the head of NATO was like, it was Trump. Trump did this. Yes. And that's what this is all about. I think it's huge news. It cannot be no news because if he gets what he wants, huge news. If he puts tariffs on, huge news. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm a free trade guy. I kind of want to see what happens. I just roll the dice. Let's go. Let's see what happens.
I think a lot of people do, honestly.
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Well, no, not everybody. Like, what was it, a Walmart executive who came out and said, no, this is going to...
Well, if I was a dumping ground for China, I wouldn't want it either.
Higher prices. Yeah. I mean, there are those headlines going on as well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about mass deportations and some of the worst arguments that I've ever heard. Now, we all remember what happened last time Democrats lost their free labor. They were not very happy about it. And it seems like this is sort of the argument they're making right now. The argument is, if we do mass deportations, then who's going to pick our crops? My avocados might get more expensive. That is the argument legitimately being made by some people. And I got to tell you this. It's a terrible argument, okay? It is a terrible argument. The argument you should be making is maybe we clean up the problem at the border and then we work backwards and clean up the problem we have here. But listen, you lost. And Donald Trump, again, the word was emboldened. Is that the word?
Is that the word? It's a good word.
He's emboldened. He's made it very clear where he was last time, and he's going to go further. And I think we're going to hear about walls. I think we're going to hear about deportations.
Absolutely.
Tom Holman is not playing around. That guy, I interviewed him in Washington, D.C., and I asked him a question. He talked for 10 minutes. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. And he's laying out the entire process.
Yes.
He destroyed members of Congress repeatedly. He went in there. This guy is not a guy to screw around with. So is he actually going to do this?
Okay, so I think that the will is definitely there, but there's so many logistics involved. And I know there's been talk of the military being involved in these deportations and things that's not just a fix. That's not just, oh, well, if the military is involved, it's all great. That doesn't, there's still so much involved to make this happen. But deportations have happened, maybe not at this scale, but in all presidential terms.
Of course.
I mean, I think Trump had 1.5 million last time. Obama actually had 3 million under his term. So it's not like these don't happen, but at this scale, it does become a logistical issue.
Oh, it is. And listen, they're talking about the military. So I asked question 2024, 1860. It's 2024. It will be 2025. That's what the calendar says. So, but the interesting thing about this is everyone's saying, oh, you can't use the military for this. And I think back to the long olden days of, I think it was last year, where out on Martha's Vineyard, they rolled out the National Guard to remove 50 illegal immigrants from Martha's Vineyard. And the bunch of liberals stood outside like, bye, thank you very much. And they waved at them as they left.
I remember that.
Right. So don't tell me the military can't do it. Don't tell me the National Guard can't do it. I think the fight here is going to be the fight between the cities and the states and the government. And so in that way, maybe it is 1860. But we'll have to figure out exactly what's going on. And with that, we'll move on to contraception. This is an interesting bill being offered up in the Alabama legislature. We've seen it in the past. Anthony Daniels offered up a bill. He is the House Minority Leader. He is also a representative from Huntsville. He offered up a bill making contraception. I said contraception ban. That's not what it is. In this particular case, we're talking about making contraception legal constitutionally in the state of Alabama. But it's almost like they were preparing for like a ban on the national level. Mecca, is there a ban coming, and is this bill needed?
I do not foresee a ban coming. I think that's correct. As far as is this a bill needed? I think it's more you introduce legislation and bills that appeal to your base. And as a Democrat, that is something that would appeal to your base.
Messaging.
Conceivably. Yes,
Yeah, it's a messaging bill. I think you're right. I think it's a
Yeah.
messaging bill. I'm not sure I'd look at the last election where the entire country from Oregon to Florida moved to the right is a time to start messaging on the thing that one of the big issues.
But it's not. This is something that is something, like you said, it came up in the last legislative session. And I mean, I just think that is something that Democrats do have success, obviously not enough success to win a presidential election, but success as an issue for them going forward.
I just wonder, in the state of Alabama, the fear is an abortion ban, which already happened.
Right.
The IVF stuff is already handled. They're not revisiting that, even though we'll hear about this group of 7 people said we want to make it an embryo is a person and all these other things. But they're not going to touch that, and they're not going to touch this. The status quo on these things is pretty much where we are, unless you're absolutely forced. You were forced to do something about IVF, and that's the only reason that changed. The abortion ban stuff had been chased for decades. That's the end. They're not revisiting abortion, making it exceptions. This is just fighting for the sake of fighting. And I just don't understand why Democrats in Alabama want to get into this when they should be talking about the economic stuff. They're naming a prison after the governor. Like, let's have a conversation about how ridiculous that is. But they don't want to do that. And that leads us to this. That leads us to our turkeys of the year. Nationally, locally, who are your turkeys of the year? We're each going to come up with one of these. And I already kind of mentioned mine. Kay Ivey, listen to me. I love you. You've been governor for like 10 years. Why are you letting them name a prison after you? Don't do that. Change it. Change anything. Name yourself after a road or anything else. Have a statue of Meemaw waving to people at the exit up here on 65 saying...
I like that one. That one. That would be very welcoming.
Stepping on my joke.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's a statue where saying, please come. Please come, or y'all come, I guess is her thing. You stepped on it and messed it all up.
I'm so sorry.
What is your local turkey, Mecca?
Okay, so my turkey, as it is every year, is lottery. Why don't we have one in Alabama? Well, that's a question for your lawmakers. It has to be tied to gambling and casinos for it to move forward. It's unnecessary. There's widespread support. Lottery would pass tomorrow. What are your terrible jokes about lottery? Like the money could go anywhere and people would still.
Oh yeah, you could say like, oh yeah, we're going to pass the lottery and give the money to Al Qaeda, and people would be like, yeah, okay, that's great. Let's go ahead and do that.
But it proves a good point. Terrible joke, but it does prove my point. There is widespread support, and yet it has still not yet been done in Alabama.
All right, national turkeys of the year. Let's talk about those for a quick second here, because mine changed yesterday. The more I've seen out of Kamala Harris, the more I'm like, oh, it's not her fault. So I don't feel bad. I'm not mad at her. The people.
What do you mean it's not her fault?
Because you don't get mad at stupid people. Sometimes you just.
Oh my God!
Sometimes
I should not have asked that.
You just kind of let them do their thing.
Continue.
Look how they're treating her.
Okay.
They run her out on a video call where people think she's drunk. I'm not sure she was drunk. She was just not at her best. And you see them just embarrassing her. You know why they're embarrassing her?
Why?
It's the people that are surrounding her who are the turkeys, a flock of turkeys.
Okay.
Because they saw polling that showed she was polling at the top in 2028, and they're like, we've got to destroy her now. And now they're coming for her. So the flock of turkeys is her. Who's your national turkey of the year?
I didn't actually think of a national turkey of the year. I'm so Alabama focused all the time.
Okay, well, then you'll go with me. Mecca agrees with me, and there you go. She thinks Kamala Harris is the turkey of the year, and we'll just have to leave it right there. And look, when we come back, Yaffe will be with us. We'll talk with him, and we will get some of his thoughts. Who's Yaffe's turkey of the year? We'll find out here in just a second. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Sector anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week is Yaffe. He is a radio talk show host on WVNN in North Alabama. He is on from 9 to 11. He's got a great lead-in named Dale Jackson. It's fantastic stuff. He's very lucky in that way. Yaffe, thank you very much for being here. Lots to talk about. We were talking about turkeys. Who's your turkey of the year? A local turkey and a national turkey that we were supposed to come up with, so go ahead.
The local turkey has got to be the courts when it comes to the redistricting stuff. Okay. So they basically drew it to have a Democrat there. The whole turkey should not have happened.
That's in District 2. You know, it's interesting you mentioned this. There was a story the other day that I read where people were upset because North Carolina was redrawn. And they're like, oh, you only have a majority because of North Carolina. And I was thinking about this for Republicans. And I was like, have they looked at Illinois? Have they looked at New York? Have they looked at Maryland? I mean, this stuff goes on everywhere. Only Alabama was one of the ones that they fought about. So
hypocrites are going to be hypocrites.
Well, right. I mean, that's true. I mean, look, and I'm all for it. Partisan gerrymandering happens. We all know that happens. It's constitutional. It's not good, but it's constitutional. We should change it. I've had a system for it that includes little blocks at the corner of each state and go that way and put your districts that way. But
I want to see that one.
That's a whole other story.
Yes.
Who's your national turkey?
The media. I feel like they haven't learned their lesson at all. I mean, maybe Joe and Mika kind of did because they're like, oh, we'll meet with Trump. But they start to do that and their audience gets mad. But I just feel like the mainstream media, they're just going to be double down on, well, this just proves America is racist. We need more DEI to solve the problem.
It's called audience capture. Audience capture is when you're doing things not because you believe them, but because you think that's what your audience wants. And some talk radio hosts get into that. I don't get into the people-pleasing thing. I don't
think anybody would ever accuse you of being a people-pleaser.
I'm sort of the opposite of the people-pleaser thing. But some people are captured there and feel like they have to do what they want. And if you look at the favorability of the mainstream media, it's gone down significantly with Republicans and up with Democrats. So they're trying to keep that there. And I think they're going to have a hard time doing that. So we got a lot to talk about outside of these turkeys. Do you want to talk about your turkey? Your national turkey?
No, we're good. But I do want to ask you about tariffs. We had discussed this earlier. And, you know, the question we had asked, is this huge news or no news? And what we come back to is if this goes through, obviously huge. But you also said, even if it doesn't and he gets his way, that's also huge. What is your take on these tariffs?
Well, it's a negotiation tactic. But the reason why it's a good negotiation tactic is because you believe him. That's what makes Trump effective at these kind of things, because he'll be like, oh, he's not going to really do that. We'll come up with a deal. But he could. Now, he might.
We all have that crazy friend who he tells you he's going to do something. You're like, he's not going to do that. And then, am I that person?
You're that friend.
All right. So, but they tell you, I'm going to do this. You're like, he's not going to do that. But then he might do that. And that's really what it is. I think the only way this is, well, and I don't even think it's no news in that situation either, that Donald Trump do none of it, not get a deal and not put the tariffs on, which I think is unlikely.
No,
he's going to get, one of those things is happening.
Well, he already set the table for liking tariffs to begin with. He said that before. Now, this isn't really about the economy. It's about immigration. He's trying to get an immigration deal with the drugs and all that. But because he has set the table saying, I love tariffs, tariffs can be a good thing, they believe him. They're like, well, he's probably going to do it. We should probably get some kind of deal.
You know, there's another side of this, too. There's the blue wall thing that crumbled. And why did that crumble? Because he was able to reach out to labor activists and in the blue collar, not activists, actual labor. He was able to reach out to them, and they love tariffs because the premise behind tariffs, and Democrats used to love tariffs and Republicans used to hate them. We've had this whole reshaping of politics right now. And they want tariffs because they believe that forces businesses to stay in America if they want to sell American cars. You can't buy American cars in Europe. You just can't do it. You can't do it because the tariffs are so high, and they want to reset the world order there. It's just like his. They said that his cabinet is the most diverse ideologically that you're ever going to find, and that's what this is about. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, he wants better trade deals, but just overall, this is where some of his chaos, his unpredictability can actually be a benefit. Sometimes it's not a benefit, I'll admit it. I don't like tariffs, but this can be a benefit at this time because world leaders are like, oh, he really could do this.
We talk a lot on this program about messaging bills. Mecca and I were just talking about this when it comes to IVF, contraception, and things like that, abortion in the state of Alabama. Is the status quo where it is, and that's just what it's going to be? Or do you see anyone getting any movement in the legislature on any of those three issues?
No, not anytime soon. Maybe in the long run, maybe we add a couple more exceptions.
Like the rape and incest stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If, let's say Democrats start winning certain seats, then yes, Republicans might kind of freak out and be like, okay, we're going to change this. But as long as it's a super Republican majority legislature, and that's the base of the state right now, I don't think it's going to change.
See, and that was my second question. We did not get to talk about this. Will this pass? Will her bill even pass?
A bill making birth control constitutional.
Yeah, would that?
No, because they don't want to give you. You're right. It's a messaging bill. Why give them the message? They don't want to give them a victory. Yeah. You're a Republican-dominated legislature. No, it's not going to.
The last thing they want to do is give them a win. If you get more Maryland lands, where in North Alabama you had a legislator win a red seat in a special election, and basically abortion was the main thing there. If you get a couple of those in the legislature, maybe they'll start being attuned to maybe that conversation.
But it was a very effective message.
I agree.
It was a single message, one message. It got national headlines, national news.
What?
Do you think more?
I mean, the media got super excited about a candidate in Alabama talking about abortion.
Do you think more Democrats, are we going to see more of this sort of messaging from Alabama Democrats moving forward?
Yes, because it got national attention. I still think if Democrats were smart, they would be moderates. Instead of trying to go so far to the left to be different, they should be moderates. They'll be like, okay, we're okay with some abortion bans, but we just want some exceptions. That would resonate.
In a special election, also super low turnout, you fire up your base, you're good to go.
Right.
That's how like Huntsville, I look at Huntsville, look at the school board elections. Absolute disaster for the area. But you've taken these more liberal people that get elected into these positions, not because they're smart or good or anything, it's actually they're the exact opposite. Not because of any of that, but because they fired up this little tiny bit and like 30 people show up and you get 16 of them and all of a sudden you're on the school board. It's a little bigger than that, but that's basically the gist of it. New Jersey and Virginia, these are like the bellwether things we're supposed to look at in 2025. New Jersey was closer. I believe New Jersey was closer than Texas in the presidential election.
That is incredible.
Is New Jersey in play for Republicans in this year, coming up here, 2025?
I'm not
Can they
so
win the
sure.
governorship? Can they win the legislature?
I mean, they've won the governorship before, but
Chris Christie, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard without Trump on the ballot. I still think a lot of this is because Trump's on the ballot. I don't know if it's a whole Republican Party thing, which creates problems in the future.
Yeah, if you've already created the excuse that they're going to use if Virginia and New Jersey don't go the way the Republicans want.
I'm more optimistic about Virginia than New Jersey.
Okay, there we go. Yaffee, thank you very much. He's a WVNN talk shows. You can hear him 9 to 11 on WVNN. Thank you very much, Yaffee, for being here. Now, the show gets a lot better next. Mecca leaves, and I bring the parting shot. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
What's the address of your emergency? My 2-year-old son, we can't find him.
From the Fox 54 Plus True Crime Series.
I did not get an attorney because I'm a guilty man. I got an attorney because I'm tired of being accused of something I would never do.
Little man's gone. He's missing. We can't find him.
Little Man Lost. Available now on Fox 54 Plus. Stream on your schedule.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improved range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. We'll get to the party shot here in just a quick second. It's Christmas time. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But first, let me tell you about a present that I deliver every single day to your email inbox. The 7 things you should be talking about today. Go to yellowhammernews.com, sign up for my email blast, and every morning when you get up, an email from me telling you the 7 things you should be talking about that day. You'll be the first to know. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that party shot. My party shot this week is directed at Prattville Pride. This is an organization, an LGBTQ organization out of Prattville that wants to participate in the Christmas parade that the city is holding in Prattville, which is fine. I have zero problem with them participating in this parade. And the people who are demanding that Prattville take them out are completely out of line and wrong. It is a city event. They are citizens. They should be allowed to participate. But we also have the First Amendment. So I'm going to use this opportunity to say, maybe you should calm down. Now, that might be the best way to go about doing this. And maybe not going to Facebook and talking about how you're going to have the merriest and the gayest event that you possibly can, because people are going to have a bit of a problem with this. And I understand where they're coming from. This is a family event, and they're concerned. Now, I've seen parades where strip clubs have been involved in the Christmas parade. And I was like, why is this happening? Why is this allowed? But it is allowed. Now, they were tasteful and they were just walking around, but it was a sign that said strip club. And these were strippers walking in the parade. My question is, why? Why do these things if you're going to do them this way? It is not worth it because of the blowback that it creates, unless the blowback is the point. And I'm a bit of a provocateur, some might tell you, and maybe sometimes outrageous things happen. But is a Christmas parade really the place to do that? The answer to that is no. So if you're going to put on a tasteful float and all these other things, that's great. If you're seeking to be outrageous, then this is not really the venue because there's a lot of kids and you're going to lose goodwill instead of gain it. So just think about what your point is and figure out what is the best way to move forward with it. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching Alabama Politics this week all over the great state of Alabama and listening on some of our favorite radio stations as well. We'll be back next week.